Okay, so I know that last lesson we got done talking about World War One, and then we discussed some of the key points that happened in between World War One and World War Two. So today's lesson will be an introduction into World War Two. In the following weeks, we would discuss things in more detail. This is kind of intro into certain key points, key players during the time of World War Two, things like that. So we're going to start off by where and when did World War II start? So World War II began on September 1st, 1939. So this was after the Great War, or World War I. Many European countries, including Germany, mostly Germany actually, suffered great loss economically. And that was due to the fact that they had to pay, they were forced to pay for repairs for not only their country, but other countries that had been damaged as well. And that made them very upset that they were really the only ones forced to do that. It started in 1939. However, 1933 is when Hitler first rose to power. He became chancellor in 1933. He began to have this idea of the superior race, which in his eyes was pure German. So, if you weren't, sorry, move this around a little bit so you can see, there you go. If you weren't pure German, if you weren't 100% German on your mom and dad's side, you were not seen as pure, as a good citizen. So his idea was to kind of stretch from Germany, starting in Germany, and stretch outward to surrounding countries and spread this idea of New Europe, New Germany. Now, it was World War II started after Germany invaded Poland. So Germany invaded Poland, and France and Britain were the first to declare war on Germany. They wanted to make it short, and didn't turn out the way they wanted, but they were the first to actually declare war and begin another world war. So there are two sides. First, we have the Allied powers, who and why. So the United Kingdom was the main player of World War II of the three. They were again one of the first to declare war against Germany, and that was due to their response to the invasion of Poland, and also to their past during World War I, because Germany wanted to invade France, and they had to go through United Kingdom, England to get there, and so they're upset that things like that. And we'll go in more detail later, but that was the main reason why. The United States was another big player, the Allied powers. They joined in on December 7th, 1941. That is the day Pearl Harbor was attacked. But they technically didn't join in, they didn't declare war till December 8th, but December 7th was the day that they kind of decided, because up till then, they were very neutral. After World War I and the damage suffered in countries they didn't want to be involved in another world war. They did help supply with the armies and medicine and medical and everything that they kind of needed, but they didn't get involved with contact. But after Pearl Harbor was bombed by the Japanese, they decided that they probably needed to get involved. And the Soviet Union was the last of the main three. They joined June 22nd, 1941. This is because Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union in Operation Barbarossa. Again, in following lessons, we'll go over that more and what Operation Barbarossa was. There are several other countries included in the Allied powers, but not under contact. But they showed support again through supplies and through selling war bonds and things like that. And three of those would be Australia, Cuba, and Norway. And there's about 20-some countries that were involved on the Allied power side during World War II. The Axis, so the other guys, who and why. Germany was obviously the main player of the Axis powers. They again started the war when they invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939, sparking France and Britain to declare war. Again, Hitler's plan was to move through countries to make room for the New Europe and the pure German race. This is also, when we talk about the Holocaust, we talk a lot about that as well. and why he thought that, and who was involved, and that's a very interesting topic to discuss. Italy joined in 1940. Both Italy and Germany had similar fascist governments and ideals for the world. They kind of saw the same people as not pure, so they kind of just worked together well. But later, Mussolini, who is the leader of Italy, was overthrown, and they ended up joining the Allies towards the end of the war, so they didn't last very long there. Japan was the third major player. They joined September 24th, 1940, when they signed the Tripartite Pact with Italy and Germany, and they signed this pact, funny enough, to try to prevent or stop the United States from joining, which they later ended up bombing the United States, which made sense to join, so again, didn't work out. Again, they later, at the very end of the war, they switched allies, because Japan, unlike Italy and even Germany, they had a very high standard. They didn't see themselves as surrendering. They were going to fight till the end if they lost every single person that was fighting. And so when Germany surrendered to the United States and to the Allies, they really saw them as weak. So they decided to join over on our side last minute. These are some other important dates of World War II. Again, we will go over this in more detail in the following weeks. It's just a brief overview of some of the more important dates of World War II. So I'll go this really fast. And again, you don't need to memorize these right now, but just have them in your mind. So when we talk about them, you'll know. So the war begins September 1st, 1939. Dunkirk, important date, May 26th through June 4th. That's a very important kind of battle area. Pearl Harbor, very important to America, December 7th, 1941. Battle of Midway, very important turning point in the war, June 4th through June 7th, 1942. D-Day, another very important battle, June 6th, 1944. And April 4th through May 9th, 1945, was when the concentration camps were liberated by Allies. Again, we'll talk about that more in the Holocaust lesson. And September 2nd, 1945, World War II officially over. So it ended the day, 6 years to the day after it started. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the leaders of the Allied Axis powers of World War II. Again, don't memorize anything now. Just know we talk about them. You'll kind of know the names a little bit. So Allies, again, we're talking about the main three on each side. United Kingdom, Winston Churchill. United States was President Franklin Roosevelt. Soviet Union was Joseph Stalin. And for the Axis, it was Germany was Adolf Hitler, Italy was Benito Mussolini, and Japan was Hirohito. So that is it for this lesson. So once again, we'll go over most of the stuff in more detail later on. And we would do a Kahoot quiz. It will not be graded. This is kind of to see what you know. Some of the questions will be about things around here. Some might be a little of this, like seeing what you know. So pull out your laptop, go to Kahoot with your passcode, and then after the Kahoot, we will also be getting into separate groups. With a worksheet, you guys will be researching some things about certain dates, just to get your minds flowing about what's to come in the following weeks. So thank you so much, and have a great day.